feels just like CrossFit.
Does it?
Yeah, well, that's what they do. We have, the 10-second countdown, and then you start. So here we are. Now we're starting, and now we have as many rounds as possible until the end of the broadcast.
Got it. What's up? Yeah, so we have made a decision to go live very often, weekly, discussing automobile topics, car stuff, car talk. And we've been discussing how can we help people right now during this crisis.
Apparently, that's what a lot of automakers have been talking about, is how can they help people during this crisis? And, how can they avoid repossessing a bunch of cars they don't really want during this crisis?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I had one client who was very concerned that she would wake up in the middle of the night to discover they were repossessing her car because she couldn't get a hold of the automaker, of the lender. And I can't say for sure. I haven't talked to them, but it just seems to me that as a general thing, they don't really want to repossess your car. What they really want is for you to pay your payments, and we're all having the same problem at the same time. So it's not like, it's like when it's just you, it's one thing, but when it's the entire world, it's another thing.
Well, what we can be right now is a beacon for our clients to give them the information that they need. I've got a lot of people that are contacting me about and asking questions about what the banks are doing. And so today we're going to share a little bit of that information and discuss what we can do to help people during this traumatic time, So, yeah. So welcome everybody. It's the Ronnie and Bonnie show here at Auto Search USA in Bonnie's house. We're here to help. Yep. Yeah. Squash is on the table.
And we're today, Passover starts tonight. So, of course, there's a lot of cooking going on in the kitchen. So don't mind the steam and, any food that goes by. That's because of Passover.
All right. Well, we definitely want to talk to people about what's going on in the auto industry. Hey, Rosanna, how are you? I see you tuning in from, I believe, California. But, we want to basically continue to do the show because the industry's changing, right? It's just changing so quickly. Like the digital aspect of our business and the way we can help people is rapidly changing, but in some ways staying the same. So
in some ways staying the same?
Yeah. So I think that it's important to point out, we'll get to your questions in a little bit, Rosanna. But I think it's important to point out that we have been a digital business for a very long time. We don't market that way. We don't reach out to customers that way a lot. So you don't really see a whole lot of stuff going on with us as far as marketing that way or using the website to market. But we've been purchasing cars digitally for over a decade. Mm-hmm. So that part of our business is not going to change. It's going to still be really robust, and in some cases even more fine-tuned, so that we can help people get exactly what they need.
Right. That is true. Yeah. I mean, we are sort of uniquely positioned for this kind of situation because we've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah. So, right now we'll talk about that a little bit later, and then we'll take some questions. And this is a live Q&A. So if you have questions, guys, post them in the comments. I'm using StreamYard. If you're on Facebook, this is broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, you have to click a link on your Facebook channel to give StreamYard permission to use your name. And that way I'll know who it is answering the question, and we can answer your question.
Right.
But if you're on YouTube, it seems to be working just fine. We have Rosanna Roldan Jackson from Bay Area, California with us. And we will take a lot of car questions here today. First, we're going to share with you what we know is going on with the loans and leases that are going on with people's cars. Mostly loans right now. The lease information is still trickling in, but we have some immediate information for you guys on loans. So Bonnie, do you want to talk about this topic right here, 90-day assistance for auto and personal loans?
I don't know that much about personal loans, but I can tell you what the automakers are doing. A lot of them, there's thousands, not thousands, but there's probably 1,000 automakers in the world. So I can't speak about all of them, but the major ones, the big ones that you've heard of, are offering payment deferments. And the way that works is that if you have a lease or if you have a loan, you can contact them And they their option is usually for 3 months of deferred payments, but you have to call each month. So, I mean, it's going to depend on your lender. It's going to depend on the company. But in a lot of cases, if you call them, they'll basically let you tack that payment on to the end of the loan. But you want to make sure that that's what they're doing, because in the mortgage industry, there is some discussion of the laws make it so that they can defer you for 3 months, and then you have to pay it all in one lump sum payment at the end. I don't think any of the automakers are doing that, but when you call, you want to make sure that that's not the case. You want to make sure that you're just tacking the payment onto the end, and then if you had like a 36-month lease, that it would just be month 37 that you would be paying that payment. So so I could give you a list, but I would say as a general thing, if you can't pay for your lease or your loan payment, it's worth calling the lender to find out what kind of programs they're offering right now. Because as I mentioned, it's really not in their best interest to be repossessing a whole bunch of cars. They really don't want the cars back. They really want the contracts for payment to be going through. And since everybody is going through this, it's worth calling them.
That's great. I think that people are all in the same boat. I mean, everybody's in the same boat, guys. You're not alone. And a lot of the banks and credit unions that we use understand that, and they're trying to do what they can to help out. One major credit union in Colorado is called Security Service Federal Credit Union. Here's how their information reads on their website. The 90-day extension includes April, May, and June payments for 2020. So basically, most of these loans are already pre-approved to skip April, May, and June, with no detriment to your credit and no paperwork required. So you don't even have to call in and have any paperwork done. But what Bonnie said is important. I think if I were in that position, I would still call or try to contact them to let them know that, hey, I'm going to be skipping April, May, and June, and I'll be back on track in July. Can you send me any documentation or emails to correspond with me so that nothing happens to my credit? And so I want to let everybody know, like, don't just go do this because we're saying it on this particular show. Research it yourself, but know that they are aware of your situation and they're trying to do everything they can to help.
Yeah.
So
in some cases, like I was able to defer my car loan with Ent online. It was very simple. You just click on the loan in your, when you go on the internet and you can manage your account, and then you just click on the loan and it just gives you an option to select, do you want to defer this payment? So I know not all the banks and credit unions are doing that, but some of them are. So that might be the first place to check. It may be that if you're calling, you might have trouble getting through because everybody's panicking right now and there's a lot of calls being made, but keep trying. Eventually you will get through.
Right. Yeah, so this is another thing that's going on for you guys until first.
What are you doing there?
Typing up this banner. So
a
lot of the credit unions that we use are allowing up to 120 days until the first payment is due on new loans. So some people just cannot delay getting a car right now. They need to get a vehicle. First thing, you can call us. We can take care of that. Second thing, understand that let's say you start a loan today on April the 8th. Your payment wouldn't be due for 120 days past today. So they are doing what they can to make sure people have a lot of options if they cannot delay buying a car until May. So that is going on right now.
And a lot of those loans are not the leases, but the loans are 0% right now. So you can borrow that money for free.
Yeah, there's GM and not the credit unions, but GM. Like for instance, Security Services at 2.99 as a stock rate, and then if you've got money down and some other things, you can get that down even lower, but not 0. But there are places like GM up to 84 months, 0%. That's available, and it's available through us as well. I don't know how long they'll defer the first payment, but they are stepping up to do whatever they can to make sure that the economy doesn't take as big of a hit as it probably will.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the reports I'm hearing on the first payments are it'll be either the end of April or the end of May. But the thing is, there's so much that's uncertain right now and that we can't control. So that's gonna, it really depends on what happens with the virus and what happens with the economy. So that's something that if you're interested in that 0%, I would definitely at least start the conversation now before the end of April. Yeah,
and so what does that look like, Bonnie? I mean, so if someone wants to know about buying a a product that qualifies for 84 months, 0%, how do they go about doing it?
Well, they could call us. What we've been doing is we've always done this where we talk to people before we sell them a car. Like, we really want to understand what you want and what you need and what you want to spend and all of those things. And then we find the car once we really understand your needs. So the process would be the same at this time.
Yeah.
So you would, except that now instead of coming to the office, we would do a Zoom call or just a telephone call.
Yeah, we can take, so what she's saying is we can take credit apps over the phone or via a Zoom call and get you pre-approved before anything is done from the comfort of your home. That's and right. I think that's going to continue after the virus is over. I mean, we'll still continue to meet with people personally, and we really appreciate meeting with you guys face to face. It's fun. We like the interaction. It's just what we're used to. However, there's going to be, I think, a section of the community that's totally fine with, like, let's just do a Zoom call and get my car deal done. Yeah. And so we'll be able to handle that. We can handle it right now. So, you know, if you've got that type of a situation, please message us and we'll take care of you.
Yeah, we are open. I know there's a little bit of confusion about what's open and what's closed, especially in the auto industry. But we've been open the whole time, and we can deliver cars and do everything that we normally do.
Yeah, we are following the social distancing guidelines. We have a clean space in our physical office for people to do their paperwork in. And, you know, the cars are outside. So, you know, when they come and pick up a vehicle, we have very limited contact. You know, we don't have to shake hands, none of that stuff. So,
right. Yeah. And we'll be interviewing a detailer in the next few days about how to keep your car clean and coronavirus free. So we follow all those guidelines as well.
We have a detailer that's going to be going live with us talking about disinfecting your car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, it is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
That's, I think that will be, I mean, maybe I'll participate from my car and be cleaning it at the time.
You get yours cleaned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Int Federal Credit Union or Int Credit Union, they're suspending fees, offering emergency loans and community assistance, auto and personal loan payment options. Log into your account, like Bonnie said earlier, and skip a pay, which allows you to skip up to 3 payments. But like she said, you have to log in and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these credit unions are just making it happen, and some of them are requiring you to log in. So visit your credit union website and check that out. Or if you need help with it, just give us a call and we'll help talk you through it. That's another option.
Yeah. Yeah. It is another option. That's right. And I guess I just want to stress again, like, don't give them a reason to think that they should repossess your car. Call them. They'll work with you, but you have to contact them.
I think that's a big point. Like, just communicate, right? Most people want to not most, but lots of folks just don't want to talk about it. And it's like, well, we should talk about it. For instance, Hyundai's got this out here, you know, like, I'll share the screen with you, you know, look at this. Like, they're doing, well, there they are, 0% for 84 months, right?
Right.
And, you know, we've got your back. Hyundai Assurance will cover your payments for up to 6 months if you lose your job, and defers payments for 4 months on select vehicles. So even if you purchased a car recently, it's worth looking into to see if you can qualify for the deferment. There's also, I mean, I didn't know this until just now. Oh, plus no payments for 120 days. Look at that, Bonnie.
Yeah, that's right.
0% for up to 84 months, plus no payments for 120 days. So, you know, if your car's broken down, if you have to do something to go to work, you know, basically they are stepping up to make it available right now.
Right, right. That's their assurance program. It's the same program that they used in 2008 to keep people in their cars.
Yeah, so they've got some experience with this.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, so that's current owners who lost their jobs or experienced medical hardship related to COVID-19 before April. No, I guess this is dated information. This is an article from the Kelley Blue Book, just listing all the different, it's only from 2 days ago, listing all the different programs from the different manufacturers.
Yeah, I mean, it's fluid. That's why we're going to be going live every week, because the situation is fluid. You know, Hyundai didn't have 84 months last week. Now they do. You know, like it's changing rapidly. So what we're going to try to do is go live and talk about these things and keep you informed throughout this process. Mm-hmm. So if you have questions that come up, please feel free to ask us. Share this video with your friends. Hit the thumbs up so we get some likes, and then we'll do our best to get you the on-time information as fast as we can.
Yeah, we can help. Sometimes we have connections. We're connected
to the car industry.
Yes.
Well, let's look at some of these questions from Rosanna. So she's got a question. Let's see. Question about all the incentives they have out now with new vehicles, 0% financing for 72 months or more.
Yeah, these incentives are out there. And they, as you know, as we said, they're changing, and they probably won't be permanent, but a 0% loan, I mean, basically that's like paying for a car in cash, except that you only have to pay a little bit at a time. That it's
payments, but there's no interest on it, you know?
And that interest can be several $1,000s that people don't think about it when they go to buy a car, but it's not like buying a house where it's going to be $100,000 of interest, but it is significant. And so a 0% loan that's a really good deal, even though it doesn't sound the same as like cash back, but
right.
It actually ends up being more money over the course of the loan.
So Rosanna, we can answer this question. Yeah, we can help you figure out exactly what you should be doing. Sometimes it is beneficial to just have us do the deal and ship you the car in California. And sometimes we just end up helping you figure it out on your own because it's more beneficial for you. So we can definitely talk to you offline. If you send me your email address, I can send you a Zoom link and we can have a conversation about it and see if we can help you figure out if it's a good time for you to jump into the market. She also says Toyota, Ford, 0% finance for 7. Yeah, it's insane. Like all of this stuff's going on, but I think if it's right for you right now, you should be looking at it. It's not just free money. You still have to make the payments.
Yeah, so you got to pay for it. It's true, but you do get a car. So, but if it's the right time, if you're in a good position, it's like anything else. Like everybody feels a little uncertain right now and we don't know what's going to happen. So it's scary to spend money, and they're just trying to make it less scary. They're trying to reassure you with these kinds of incentives. So if you can overcome the scariness and this is the right time for you to buy a car objectively, then these can be really great things to do. It's a good time.
So she says, can someone like me from California apply with you guys? Absolutely. That's just a Zoom conversation or a phone conversation in which we collect the information and then we can get it to the manufacturer and get an approval. That's pretty easy to do. And she also asks, with your example of Hyundai 0% financing, would someone negotiate the price for a new car? Or what would someone? So the price of the car and the financing are not really intertwined. The way we always look at deals is here's the available special programs, and they usually have rebates or 0%. Some people don't want to finance the car and they just want to write a check. And so they want to collect that rebate of $2,000 or $2,500 or in some cases $6,000. Mm-hmm. So some people would like to take that option. Some people would like to waive the rebate and get the 84-month 0% financing. So that's an option. We're here to help you figure it out. So when we do a Zoom call, I can share my screen with you and show you, hey, if you pay cash, here's what it looks like. Here's what you write a check for. If you finance, here's what your payments are at 0% for 84 months. Which one works best in your particular situation? So we're happy to have those conversations with you guys to help you figure them out so that you can make a good choice about getting in on this crazy car market right now.
Yeah, and I mean, not everybody has the same personality as me, but I personally feel like it's always important to stress that when you do that call with us and we can share the screens, we're going to show you the difference of what it's really going to cost you over time.
Right. Whether
it's the 84-month financing or the rebate, you'll see how much the taxes are really going to be. You'll see what you're really paying for. And that's for a certain type of person like me, that's really helpful because we want to give you the power to make a decision for yourself, to make the best decision for yourself.
Well, I'll share one of those screens right now. The computer's having a hard time. Am I sharing? Oh, I've been sharing the whole time. Dang it, Bonnie. We've been talking with the screen up the whole time.
Really?
Yep.
I can only see you.
I know, but I had the screen up. So, but check this out. So if we, I can go to this screen here and share it. This is more difficult than I thought.
This is our into the fire technology. You know, like we didn't have to do this before the.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is 0% on 35,000. The computer will not, you know, it calculates it out to the penny. So basically, around $35,000 is $451 a month at 0%. And look at the interest charge. You know, it's like a penny over 84 months. So if you're financing that car at 2.99, this is what Bonnie was talking about. Now this number is $4,150 over 84 months at $500 a month.
Yeah, so $4,000. That, you know, that's a significant percentage of what you were paying to start with.
Yeah, so 0%. The payment is $451, no interest. That's the type of thing that we can do over Zoom and have these conversations so that you can see it and know what you're talking about. And that happens really quickly.
Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of the mystery out of buying a car.
Yeah, it does. So what else would you like to give them today? I mean, we're in Colorado Springs. The weather is crazy nice. It's going to be like 60 something today. It's supposed to snow this weekend.
Yep, because it's Colorado Springs. That's how that is.
That's how it goes. So unfortunately, we're all trying to stay in isolation, do social distancing, and still provide a service to people that need it.
Right. That although it's not as bad here as it is in some places, that, you know, you see the statistics on New York where it's nothing like that here.
Right.
Though we are all still staying home, and, you know, the grocery stores are limiting the number of people that that are allowed in at any given time.
They started that like today.
I think it was yesterday, but I went to the grocery store yesterday in the afternoon, and I didn't have to wait in line. There weren't that many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought because all these holidays are coming up that there would be a lot of people in the stores, but so far, at least yesterday, it wasn't bad.
Right. Well,
your Easter shopping today.
Yeah, that's right. That's coming up.
Yeah.
Passover, all kinds of stuff is still the world is still gonna go around the sun.
Yep.
So we've got to figure out how to adjust during this time and pivot and make changes, because no matter crying about it's not going to help.
No. And I mean, really, we're learning how to do a lot of things all of a sudden. We're learning how to use StreamYard, for example, and how to do calls. We're learning how to buy cars with limited contact, where you don't have to show up at our office and, you know, and potentially be contaminated by us all, even though none of us have it. We're all healthy.
We're healthy. So far, so good, right?
So good, yeah.
My kids are healthy. Your cats and birds are healthy. I haven't seen a bird flying around your place today.
Nobody's landed on my head this morning yet. So I guess yesterday the bird did almost take my glasses with her as she flew by.
Yeah. Another thing we talk about is selling your car. So if some of you out there may need to sell your car, you can sell us your car. So I'll put that up. So
this is a big problem for people, that if you want to sell a car and you've got it on Craigslist or something like that, what you're going to end up with is a lot of people showing up at your door or having to take it places to look at the car. So then there's going to be a lot of people in the car, a lot of people near you, and maybe this isn't the best time to do that. So if you're finding that to be a problem, but you'd like to get the car off your hands, you want the cash for the car, then we can buy it. And it's just there's just, you know, the process is not, there's not a lot of people in your car. It's just, we look at it and it's done.
Yeah, we can talk about it over the phone or via Zoom and give you an estimate before we even take a look at the car. So, I mean, it's very simple. It's not designed to cause you any stress. It's like, you want to sell the car, here's what we think it's worth. Here's the number if you'd like to take advantage of it. If not, we completely understand. But if we can be of service, please let us know.
Yeah. So we've been talking about this a lot, because this is one thing we can do to really relieve people of cash flow problems. If you were selling your car anyway and you need that cash, we can help you.
Right. So what do you think we could do for more Q&A sessions like this, Bonnie? Like, what else do you think people want to hear about?
I don't know. I would like to hear it from them. I'm trying to think of what kinds of questions I'm getting. One question that I get is, will car prices go down So that might be, I know we had a lively discussion about this at a team meeting, and my opinion is in the minority. But
what was your opinion?
My opinion is that they're not making, the factories are shut down. It's hard to get parts right now. So there's a glut of inventory for new cars right now. But that once that inventory has gotten through, then the price will go up because there'll be fewer cars available.
Well, I think that new car prices will continue to drop during this particular crisis. I mean, it's just a fact. New car prices are going to drop. My prediction is used car prices will rise because the amount of people that are going to come back into the market to try and potentially, in their mind, take advantage of the buying process right now and get a cheaper car are going to just suck those cars up. The demand is going to far exceed the supply. So,
well, that's what we were seeing anyway with used cars, that we were swinging in that direction. At this particular moment, the Manheim data suggests that the prices of cars, they're selling for less than average right now. But
you look that up on Manheim. So Manheim is an auction house that we use. And so you look that up on Manheim and they're selling for less than what they normally do?
Yeah, that's what they say. And I see that the buy now numbers are kind of high. So I think it's accurate. I think the buy now number is what, like, a dealer can say, I'll sell you this car for $20,000, or you can bid on it at the auction and see what you can get it for. And so those buy now numbers are lagging behind the actual, what the cars are actually selling for. They're too high right now. And we've seen that before, but I didn't understand what it was. But now I understand. It has to do with fluctuation in the prices.
Well, that, and dealers are not stockpiling inventory right now.
No, that's true.
So if the cars are at the auction, they're not going to be buying them right now because they're not stockpiling inventory. They were a few weeks ago, probably 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Let me explain for the non-industry people that what happens is that you go to the auction and you've got like Carvana and CarMax. They have hundreds and thousands of these used cars. They get them from the same place. So sometimes they're buying a lot of them and that bids up the price. But they're not doing it right now because you can't go to CarMax and buy a car right now. I think you can still buy one over the internet in Colorado, but it has changed the amount of competition for any given car. So the prices have come down, but only for right now.
Yeah, it's going to bounce back. I mean, I've seen this through 4 different recessions. Now, this is definitely something that's unprecedented. So I haven't really seen this, but my prediction is that used car prices will skyrocket because, they're going to push the new car prices down, and everybody's going to run to the used cars that can't afford or the budget doesn't work for the new cars no matter what they do. And so then they're going to run to the used cars, and those cars are going to start to increase in price. We may have a lull where they dip a little bit, but here's a good point for people. I would never advise you to just buy a car because of some deal that's out there or because the market is depressed, because it gives you this false sense of security that you're winning. Like, hey, I'm going to win this because everybody wants that on their mantle. I bought a car right after COVID-19 when the prices were depressed, and you'll never see this price again, and all of that stuff. Everybody loves that story. But what I'm here to tell you is that you're still not winning. If you've got that car for that low price, everybody did. I mean, it wasn't just that one car. And guess what? The car will be worth less next week. It's still going to go down. So when you celebrate that the market's depressed, and you get in, it's like, you just don't get it mixed up in your mind that you're getting something that can never be done again. I mean, it's just, I have not seen that in 23 years where it's just one time only. I think the only thing that stands out in my mind that won't be done again was cash for clunkers. When we had the 2008 crash, everybody took their clunkers in and they destroyed those cars. That was one time, but you still had to buy a car for that to happen. You couldn't just turn in your old car. You had to buy a car. So
there's, not to contradict what you just said, and maybe you have information I don't have, but Ford has been discussing that with the government, that cash for clunkers thing. But
are they trying to bring that back? Well, that's how they sparked the market, right? So think about that. So then all of those cars leave the market. I thought it was horrible. We were seeing Forerunners and Tacomas. 100,000 miles on them get crushed. They poured this stuff into the engines and kill the engines, and so You know what that does? You could see Ford saying that because they want to continue to sell new cars. Ford has no interest in selling used cars. The manufacturer, the dealer does.
Right.
Ford has no interest in selling used cars. So yes, if they can bring back cash for clunkers and wipe out all those used cars, then what's left?
New cars, newer
New
cars.
car sales. So like, you know, we got 84 months at 0%, guys. Never happen again. You know, it's like, it's all these different ways to motivate you to do something.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is it's okay to do something, but don't do it just for that sole reason. Do it because you need a car, like you need to get to work. You need to go get your kids moved around to do things. And this will be a good time to take advantage of that particular opportunity, but don't just run out and like it's a clothing sale. You know, this is a car. So this is going to impact you for 6 or 7 years.
Right.
Right.
It's not, you know, as we like to say, like, you know, because we're sort of comparing it to the stock market. It's the same kind of thing. Like prices go up, the prices go down. And most of the time, the best thing to do is invest based on the fundamentals. And so this is really no different, even though your car is not an investment. It's not an investment. But when you're thinking of buying one and you're looking at the car market, it's still the same principle. You want to buy on the fundamentals. Do you need a car? Is this the car that you need? This is not, you know, like I like your example of clothing, because, you know, if I go out and I buy a $300 dress with sequins and I can only wear it once, you know, it's a silly purchase, but it's only $300. When you buy a $30,000 car that doesn't really meet your needs, that becomes much more of a problem because the car is much more utilitarian than those sequins.
Yeah.
So this is, if you are thinking, the way I'm thinking of it is that if you need a car right now and you're not sure if this is a good time to buy because of the uncertainty, then yeah, it's probably, you know, assuming that your finances are in the right place too, this is probably a good time to buy a car. But if you don't need one, this is not, like, it doesn't make sense to buy one like you would, you know, like you would jump on an investment, because it's not an investment. It's a utilitarian thing that you're going to need to use the way that works for your lifestyle.
That's my philosophy on car buying is not going to change because of COVID. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, it's not going to change. Like, I'm not going to be on here saying, hey, because of COVID, do this, this, and this.
Right.
No, it's the same philosophy. Do you need the car? Does it work within your budget? Well, I want to chase this deal, Ronnie. I want to get this deal and this special. I'm like, do you need that car? You need 84-month loan on a Tahoe because of the special, you know, because that's going to come back to bite you later. That car's still going to depreciate. And it may depreciate faster because of this. You know, when everything is going down, just because you bought that car and you're like, well, they're usually 50 grand, but I got it for 40. My car's worth 50. I'm like, no, your car's worth less than 40. You know, and next week it's worth less. And the week after that, it's worth less. So that's what I try to teach people to understand with cars. This is just, how do you mitigate this for the next 5 to 10 years?
Right.
I never talk to you about how do you win it, because I don't believe you can win it. I believe that you can purchase a car and win that, but then like over time, the car's still going to take your money. It's never going to give it back. And I guess that's why I say that, because that's how I define winning. Does it bring me money back?
No.
Doesn't. So you're not winning.
That's why we're such big fans of leasing, because leasing fixes the payments. You're only paying for what you use. And so, you know, there's none of this trying to win an unwinnable game.
Yeah, I mean, leasing is I haven't seen a lot. We'll come back and go live next week and talk about leasing, because I haven't seen a lot of information yet come down the channel about what they're doing about deferring the payments on leasing. And
there are some Monday you can call and defer your lease payments.
If you're in a current lease?
If you're in a current lease, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I say that if you're in a lease and you find that you can't pay your payment, it's worth calling the lender. Call whoever's on the contract or in your payment booklet and see if they can help you, because they will work with you. They really don't want the car back. Right.
They want to figure out a way to help you.
Right. If you think that you can't pay for the car at all and you need to get out of the lease, there are ways. You can't get out of the lease, but there are ways to get you out of the car as well. And you can contact us to talk about those if you need to.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those calls where people are like, "Can I just turn this back in?" And I'm like, guys, you know, it's leasing and financing is no. Even if you go out and take out an 84-month 0% loan on a vehicle, and then 2 years later want to turn it back in, it's a repossession. You know, so they don't have any loopholes for people to get out of these loans.
Well, but we did have that one client who was able to sell her car to CarMax, and she ended up owing $1,000 or $2,000 to the leasing company, but that was less than she would have owed if she had just paid out the lease all the way through.
I don't understand that, Bonnie. So basically, that's no different than what we're talking about. So, like, let's say you're in a lease right now and you want to get out of it, right?
Right.
We will bid the car. They'll leave this much money. You pay that to the leasing company, and then it doesn't have to go to CarMax for that.
No, it doesn't have to go to CarMax for that. That's true. But if you just let the car be repossessed, that's going to hit your credit.
Yeah, you can sell it and still. I mean, we're really off on a tangent. Like, it's like way out there, you know. So, yeah, we should talk about that specifically, where we can bunch it up for like 10 minutes because it's just going to sound like a whole lot of rambling, I think. But yeah, you can get out of your lease if you pay it off, or if you sell the car and pay the balance. If you want to get out of a loan, you can pay it off, or you can sell the car and get rid of the balance. So there's no difference between leasing and financing a car.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, so yeah. All right. Well, let's see. There's another comment for Rosanna. She wants, I want the most basic vehicle. I really don't want a car payment, but my Sienna is going on 200,000 miles, no issues, but I know I will need a car soon. So this is something that we talk about quite often, right, Bonnie?
That's right.
Your car's not going to last forever.
Car's not going to last forever.
So Rosanna, what you need right now is just information, you know, like, so what's going on is the market is throwing all these things at you, 0% here, this or that, or whatever. And, you know, if I was advising you right now, I'd be like, yeah, let's take a look at these options and see what looks good for you. But I would be like, let's just see what happens. I mean, let's see what's going on in the market right now and make an educated decision instead of an impulsive one based on 0%. So we should definitely talk and we can help you figure it out because that Sienna, even though it's a Toyota, it's definitely not going to last forever.
No, it's still a car.
Yeah. So that's a great point, though. People are going to be in that position and they're going to be looking at these programs and wanting to run to them. And that's fine if you do. It's just basically make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. It's going to be, that's 7 years? Yeah, 7 years of payments at 84 months.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time. That's long after the warranties are up for a lot of cars.
For most of them, at least Hyundai has a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty.
Right.
The regular warranty runs out in 5 years.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so that means repairs. And of course, there's the basic services that for the different, 20,000 mile service, your 50,000 mile service, those things have to be paid for too.
Yeah. Good grief, man. I mean, it's just, what else are you seeing, Bonnie? Anything you want to share?
Anything else I would like to share that I'm seeing in the auto industry? Not necessarily. I'm just interested in watching where what factories are reopening and how they're going to handle it and who's making ventilators and face masks instead of cars right now. It's interesting. I didn't realize they were so versatile but they can use a lot of those big robots. They can reprogram them and use them to make other things. So it's interesting.
3D printers and all that stuff is crazy.
Yeah, and what's the ventilators that were so, like, who knew that, like, Ford and GM could use their machines to make ventilators, but they can.
I know. It's nuts. I didn't know that either, but it's nice to see,
It is. It's very interesting. It's been a crazy time. I don't know that I hope we don't see another time like this in our lifetimes. I feel like once is enough.
I never thought I'd see this one time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really don't want to see anything like this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing this show to keep you guys informed and answer questions as we move through this new digital life and provide as much value as we can to help to try and get you to understand your car purchases and leases and make better decisions.
Right.
So, and if you choose to use us, fantastic. We would love to earn your business, but that's not the sole reason for doing this. We think we've got to put ourselves out to the public and talk to people and answer their questions and be valuable to them. Right, Bonnie?
That's right. That's right.
So
that's the reason we do this.
All right. Well, I don't see any birds. I'm a little disappointed.
Well, I can go get one if you'd like, but
let's see a bird.
All right, hold on.
Bonnie has doves, chickens, cats in the same dwelling. So let's take a look at hopefully a dove. Bonnie's chasing a bird. We're going to see a bird. So while she's off getting a bird, what kind of questions do you guys have about what's going on in the automotive industry? I mean, I don't have all the answers, but we can figure it out. There, what's that bird's name?
This is Buddy. Buddy the bird.
Oh, is that a dove?
Yeah, he's a dove.
Wow. Why didn't you ever bring him to the office?
Because every time I say we're getting birds, you say no birds.
Well, I mean, no birds permanently, but
Okay,
Buddy can come in and hang out and fly around.
I said, but Buddy doesn't fly. He either had a disease or he flew into a mirror. I'm not sure which, but he's kind of stuck in a cage a lot. But it's kind of amazing. He couldn't hold up his head for a long time, but as you can see, he's just fine. He did his own bird physical therapy and learned to hold his head up again. So, but I couldn't get any of the others. I tried to get one of the chicks. They're not babies anymore, but it's mating season, so they're flying around looking for a mate, even though there's no mate in the basement. And I couldn't catch one. But Buddy's always easy to catch.
Oh, he looks awesome. I can't wait till you bring him into the office.
He's a nice bird. He makes cooing sounds. Sometimes he fights with the other birds. He used to try to fight with Patience the cat, but lately there seems to be a truce.
Okay. And Patience doesn't try to kill him?
No, strangely enough, Patience does not eat the family birds. He restricts himself to outside birds.
Okay. He's on a diet.
He's on a diet, on a non-family bird diet, I suppose. What do you think, Buddy? Is this too scary? Whoops. There you go. Buddy's learning to fly again, so he sometimes I find him in places I don't expect him.
Oh yeah, because he flew for a little bit.
Yeah, like he'll figure out how to get out of the cage, and I can't figure out how he's done it, but I'll find him on the floor.
Huh.
There he is. Okay, I don't know how you got there, but as long as you're having a good time. I like to bring him upstairs and put him in the sink because I think that entertains him too. I mean, the water's not running or anything. He just sits in there, and I think it feels secure, but it's upstairs, so it's a change of pace. It's like being in a box.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He's a nice bird.
All right. Well, bye, Buddy.
Can you say goodbye? No, you don't say anything. They don't have voice boxes, so he doesn't speak a lot.
But he coos.
He coos, yeah.
All right.
Nice in the morning. There'll be lots of cooing in the basement. It's always very pleasant.
All right, then. Well, you have a great day, and we will come up with some more topics for next week. If you guys have any questions you want to answer, please let us know, and we will deliver what we can find out.
That is correct.
All right. Have a good day.
Oh, I guess I just wait, don't I?